In this video, we will be using the Microsoft Azure web portal to create resource groups. And within those resource groups, we will create a Windows 11 and an Ubuntu Linux virtual machine. So we're going to get started by first creating a resource group. So in the search box here, we're going to type resource groups. We're going to come down here to create. And the first thing we're going to do is give the resource group a name. So we'll say RG virtual machines. So this is where we're going to be putting our virtual machines. The region here, this is where the different servers are for Azure around the world. So we want to go ahead and choose a East US 2 because that's near where I'm filming this video. And we're going to go ahead and hit review and create. This is going to be our summary of the resource group. And then we go ahead and create it, and we see that the resource group was successfully created. So next, we're going to start with our first virtual machine. So this is going to be the Windows 11 Pro. So we come here to the virtual machines portal, and we come down here to create, and we're going to create an Azure virtual machine. Now this is where we're going to select the resource group that was just created. And we're going to give our virtual machine a name. So this is going to be Windows VM. We'll keep that in East US 2 because that's where our resource group is. And we come down to image, and image is the various operating systems that could be chosen for a virtual machine creation. And we're going to choose the Windows 11 Pro. Next, we're going to choose a username and password. So this is going to be needed whenever we remotely connect into the virtual machine. So we're going to use Microsoft's remote desktop connection and utilize the public IP address of the virtual machine to connect in to the virtual machine from the host computer. So for the username, we will just call this Windows VM. And go ahead and put in a password. And then come down here on the licensing, and we need to check this box. Without checking this box, we will not be able to create the virtual machine because that indicates that we are within the licensing rights of this VM. Click next. I'm going to go to networking. So here is where we're going to create our virtual network. And the virtual network is going to be so multiple virtual machines can communicate with each other. So we're going to edit virtual network to give this a name. And we're going to call it the virtual machine VNet. VNet stands for virtual network. We'll come down here and hit save, review and create. And this is going to give us a summary and validate that everything is acceptable. And then here we're going to see how much the cost is. So this virtual machine is going to be just under 10 cents an hour to use. The estimated monthly cost would be around $73.73. So we're going to create this one. Now it says deployment is in progress, so it is going to be putting everything together to create the virtual machine, so it will be here on Azure. Sometimes this can take a few minutes. So we can come over here and in the notifications also just keep updated with the progress of how that's going. You can see all the various things that have been created. Such as the network security group and a public IP address and the actual virtual machine itself. And once this virtual machine is deployed, we're going to use the remote desktop connection to go ahead and log into the virtual machine. Sometimes this is faster or slower depending on how many resources the data centers are currently utilizing. It seems like right now this might be a busy time. All right, the virtual machine has been successfully deployed. So we're going to go ahead and get the public IP address. We can do that through a variety of ways. One way would be to just click go to resource. We scroll down here and there's the public IP address. Another way to find the public IP address would be to go to the virtual machines portal. And here's where we see that we have the Windows VM virtual machine is created. And here's the public IP address. So we're going to go ahead and copy that address. I'm going to hit Windows R to open up the run utility. And we're using the MSTSC, which is for the remote desktop connection. I'm going to put in the public IP address of the Windows virtual machine. Come down here to use a different account and going to enter in the credentials that we had just previously created. Now here's a prompt to say that the remote computer cannot be authenticated due to problems with its security certificate. Here we do see that it is the Windows VM, so that is the one I just created. So we're going to go ahead and say, yes, it's okay to connect. And it's begun loading. It takes a little while to boot up. It's the first time that this operating system has been loaded. So it's doing all of the installation. So as that is happening, oh, there we go. Just gonna click through here. Accept. And here is our desktop loading up for our brand new Windows 11 virtual machine. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. And we're going to create a Ubuntu Linux virtual machine. So we're back here at the virtual machines portal. We're going to go to create virtual machine. We're going to put it in our resource group for RG virtual machines. So it'll be in the same resource group as the Windows 11 virtual machine. And this one we will call the Linux VM. Come down here, we're going to change the image to Ubuntu Pro. In the administrator account, we're going to go to password. So that way we're going to set up a username and password to log in. This one will be Linux VM. Put my password in. And then we're going to make sure that this goes onto the same virtual network as the Windows 11 virtual machine. We're going to select from the drop-down box, and we're going to go to virtual machine VNet, which was the virtual network that we had created earlier. Go to review and create. The validation has passed, and we will now create this virtual machine. So while that is being deployed, I'm just going to check and see that, yes, we have successfully loaded up a Windows 11 virtual machine here at the desktop. And we are awaiting deployment for the Linux virtual machine. The deployment was successful. So we're going to go to the virtual machines portal again. And here we see that we now have a Linux VM and a Windows VM. The operating system's Linux, operating system's Windows, and they both have their public IP addresses. And we will check to see that this is on the virtual machine VNet. And the Windows VM is on the virtual machine VNet. So that is how we create resource groups and virtual machines using Microsoft Azure's web portal.